All right, welcome H Radio 223 part-timers to well, I say it's a second last lesson for the year. It is 83 of 84, and we are rounding up buying, selling, and executing, should I say, executing, why not? Executing airtime from Next Level Radio, and that is in chapter 10, page 397, where we are going to so I know that in a previous lesson we went through the semantics of the RAB release for writing great copy, and that's going to obviously help you within your summative as well. Just to kind of quickly stress once again that the summative is complex, and I'm sure if you've had a look at it by now, you would realize that it is just a lot of work, and it is very complex, and that if you need any help, it needs to happen within this week, right? Okay. All right. So I'm going to go with this particular lesson. Um, the prep of the slides gives a little bit more insight to what obviously the first five steps of the RAB program, right? For the RAB, well, structure or the 10 tips, right? For writing great copy. And what I'd like to do is just kind of float around between, what we've seen in terms of, I think I've shared it with you, or maybe I haven't, like an on-air execution and what a live read and then an active read and a promotion or whatever it may be with an execution as well might look like. And once again, looking at different types and that's what I'm actually going to push through to the next lesson specifically, to look at different examples of, adverts that were written as well. But okay, so let's have a quick look. And the Advertising Bureau is where we begin developing great creative radio campaigns are obviously crucial to getting results for your client. But the question is, how do we do it? And to revisit these 10 steps as we close for the year, we're going to go to step one, but we've worded it differently within this particular lesson, so maybe it can give you a different train of thought. And as you go along, trying to think of how you can apply and answer some of these questions that are stated throughout the lesson. The first mistake could be that the most costly thing to do is kind of look at a campaign and how to achieve it, right? Without understanding the real reason behind the campaign, no matter how humorous or clever or the campaign is, it'll be destined to fail. And so the thing is, once again, in previous lessons, we've told you about how you can really foster that relationship that you do have with your clients, and how you need to be an expert professional on their products as well as your own, which is your radio station, to be able to really, really get what it is that they want to do with their promotion, and really say, okay, I've got these really great ideas that are going to either be executed on air. We might package it in with digital, etc., etc., etc. And these are the ideas, and this is the breakdown of it. And as we move along, the processes are completed, right? Step two is asking the right questions with your client, right? And often referred to as the client's needs analysis, as we've mentioned before. But this isn't the most exciting part, but one of the most important aspects, because we get to really sit down. Once again, it's that investment also around who this client is, what their product is, what the service is, and we start understanding the foundation and asking the right questions that allow us to know where the campaign is heading. Right. So step two continues with asking, is there anything that you would like to feature? We would ask the client to say, once again, what type of direction, what type of features are new within your product, what type of added services or new services is your company providing? Are you opening up new outlets? Are you opening up new branches? Are you so on and so forth, right? So imagine a bank has launched a student account that wants more students to sign up so that this will become the main aim of the campaign. We've got to obviously target students. We've got to target we have to how can I say focus and make sure that the message of what the student account is is made up of, what's the difference between that and a normal account, so any kind of savings or check or whatever account. So what benefits do you get as a student? What interest do you get as a student? And so on and so forth, right? Yes, the bank offers home loans and credit cards, but the focus is on students. So we have to develop a campaign. We have to develop advertising. I'm saying to you, as well as scripting, copy, all of that type of umbrellas or the fillings under that umbrella of sales, right, and of advertising that are catered directly to speaking to a group of, I don't know, between 18 and maybe 20, 24 years old, right? So thinking more about them, what is their lifestyle, what is the ideal age, what is the income, and education level. It's more than one radio station. When this will help steer your client. Sorry for this is just a little bit of incorrect spelling and all that over there. Really focus down on why that position is on that particular dial of the radio station's frequency, right? So again, we look within our target market. If we are looking at students, 10 to 1, this has to be a youth-based station, or they might be part of our psychographic. And so we allow that relationship, that contract as we move into with the client to say, yes, this is the perfect station where you will see some kind of return on investment that again is redefined in so many different ways to equate to return on investment for this particular rollout of the promotion, right? So in our examples, because we asked the client step one, right, we know who the bank product is aimed at. So why do customers come to you? All right, allow the client to tell you their story, right? What is it? So they obviously must have, if it's a standard bank, or it's an ABSA, net bank, whatever it is, there is a range of different people that have different accounts and different clients, in other words, right? But just like any other company, they have done their client analysis and know kind of the analytics behind what would represent the youth, I say the youth group, or the youth semi not subgroup, right, of this particular client base that they do have. So they'll be able to provide you with at least stats. And again, they do their own knowledge management. And once again, as any company would move to, so excuse me, servicing those clients better, and obviously reaching out more to make sure that those clients are retained as to keeping that account with them, right? Keep in mind that perception is reality, and so you should consider getting different viewpoints from coworkers, family, and friends as well. So looking at, let's say, a bank, and you go and ask around, not just any like any old people. I get that family and friends are going to have a very particular opinion, which is good. They'll tell you straight, but you can't base everything on what your mother and your sister or your best friend says, right? You got to look a little bit further and talk to, quote unquote, like I said, the man or woman on the streets, and see what it is that they are saying around this particular product. What is your single greatest competition advantage, right? So in the case of our student account, the client might say, we charge zero monthly fees. The first ATM withdrawal is free. And if you swipe at these bookstores, you get 25% back in rewards. Sure, okay. The first three ATM withdrawals are, and also we don't really, predominantly, we don't really use a lot of ATMs these days and make withdrawals, because everything has become quote unquote a cashless society where we are tapping or tapping or tapping or tapping, and it's encouraged too. And also a lot of company stores, etc., only accept cards these days. So they're kind of pushing the narrative as well. Predominantly where the youth is maybe positioned is 10 to 1 also one of those things where they might not be withdrawing cold hard cash. But if we look at, let's say, the type of student that we are looking at, that we're aiming or to target here, or we're aiming to obviously coerce or, make this product attractive too, within obviously like our students who use a lot of public transport. Now, I don't know. I don't think you can pay with a credit card or a card, but you'd have to pay with cash. And so you would need cold hard cash anyway. So maybe look, first three ATM withdrawals is not a big draw, not really, again, because if you could say three ATM withdrawals per month or free, or five or free, that makes for a better product, right? And not really not really this angle, I would say. Charge 0%, 0 rand, 0% monthly fees is great. That's great, because we lose a lot of the money that we have in our bank, both credit or savings or check accounts, are just like, man, they take hundreds, right? For various reasons. And anyway, so that would be attractive too. And then definitely swiping it at these bookstores or clothing stores or fast food stores, whatever it may be, again, through kind of a customer analysis would be the stores and the products, etc., that they would know that their customers, their clients, would obviously use more so, and maybe to also maybe update those types of specials that they can get using their card at these particular stores and brands, etc., would be a nice thing to add there. So step two, do you have a positioning statement? So what are you selling? Who are you selling to? How does it fill a market need? And answering these questions will definitely guide you in making sure that all communication is consistent, right? Okay, so if you remember, the unique selling point position, or unique selling point, right, is really, really, really important. Why does this particular bank have an advantage, right? While obviously propagating this particular product, service, etc., at this particular time to advertise, etc., to make sure that they are different and attractive to a customer in comparison to their competition. So that has to be, again, decided upon. And if not, they have to go and refine what it is that they're deciding is a unique selling point. So, for example, obviously the student account must have a number of different benefits, and so it makes it a unique selling point, right? So, what is your primary business image? Again, what are you known for? The client now, what do clients know you for? So, are you a leader of the industry? An example would be McDonald's, or it would be in the fast food range, obviously KFC, Chicken Licken. And what is it that, if you can't really say what you love about McDonald's, like, I don't know, um, I don't really know off the top of my head. I'm sorry, sorry, not sorry. Um, but obviously we have the quarter pounder, right? The quarter pounder is very popular and synonymous with the McDonald's brand, whereas the Whopper is with Burger King, and then, for example, like buckets or uh I don't know, I would say just deep fried chicken, man, is with KFC. But we'd have particular things that we'd know would make us think immediately. So the Colonel's secret recipe is that's what's synonymous with, let's say, KFC. What do you think when you hear about Woolworths? I think expensive, like I don't have a good personal point of view of Woolworths. I think they're just there to waste money, and people should know that more and more. Anyway, but a lot of people say, "Oh, Woolies is so nice and clean, and it's just got quality food, and I love the fruit." And sorry, I'm sounding very condescending because anyway, I can't like I don't know what to say about Woolworths. What? Okay. So what's the biggest misconception or misperception that you feel people have about your business? Sometimes the misperception can be used in commercials to help overcome objection. So a customer might think that you can, or you are, well, you are expensive, or you are an expense. So you include price, a holiday destination. Don't use um, 250 kilometers away from Joburg, rather say a 2 hour drive out of Joburg, and kind of rewording that misconception of if you are going to be selling high tech gadgets that do cost a lot of money, obviously the smart televisions, phones, etc. Even vehicles, like cars that are super expensive. Yes, the price is actually, for example, just is never mentioned. I've never heard it mentioned in an advert. It's definitely there. You see it in black and white, but they're not going to say, "Oh, it's only 459,000 rand." Whatever, that makes no sense. They're going to focus on the car's features and how it makes your life just more luxurious or better, right? Okay, step three, help position your client. So clients will spend money and they expect results. So whether it's more hits on their website or more phone calls, that they want to see something happen, right? So no, obviously now that you have done your client's needs analysis, you would use that information to effectively have that separation made from the competition with a proper positioning point that you can move forward with. Still within, obviously, step three, and we're going to be in step three for quite a while. We need to ask the right questions. And that is very important to understand that asking the right questions is how you get the right product out. You can ask questions. You can ask many questions and they will be answered, agreed, with anyone that you are chatting to or interviewing or kind of whatever it is, Q&A. In this case, it'd be a client. If you ask the wrong questions, you're going to go and create a wrong, obviously, like a wrong product for them. So when I say product, we're not talking about their product. We're talking about the broadcasters or the media product for them, and it's going to fall to pieces. You thinking you got the answers, you basing it on all the stats and answers, etc., that you have, and you did follow the steps of, like I say, getting to know your client more, blah blah. But at this point, you can make for a very easy sale fail, right? And also, really, again, it's not just about asking the questions of getting to know what the client wants, but really also getting to know what it is that the client agrees to. So they will agree to a digital campaign. They will agree to like an online giveaway. They will agree to this, that, and this, and certain dates, etc., and certain outputs and certain whatever that have to be deliverables to them. Like you need to agree to this, and only asking the right questions to be able to trigger the client to be able to give you a yes or a no or a X, Y, and a Z is how we do this, right? So anyway, often referred to as the client's needs analysis isn't the most exciting part, once again, as I said before, but the most important aspects are that we start understanding the foundation and asking the right questions that'll allow us to head forward, right? Knowing your competition is very important, not because you're jealous, but because you, again, have to create a unique selling point as well. And not in just in that moment, a company can't survive generally or will be at risk of surviving, should I say, or growing if they are offering the same services and at some kind of disadvantage to potential clients or customers, that their competitors are doing much better, much slicker, more effective, and obviously in maybe a more creative way, like in terms of connection, whatever it may be, right? So we do have many clothing stores, and we have many clothing stores that are exactly the same. In other words, the kind of like the Jet and the Ackermans seem to be exactly the same, just for a different type of person. Maybe it's under a different type of holding company too, right? But I'm saying to you, right, if we look at Jet and look at Ackermans, and Mr. Price would also probably fall within that range because it's affordable and not bad. It's good quality, not high-end quality, but it's good quality apparels, right? Okay, so each one of those needs to be able to know, and each one has lasted forever and ever, right? Why it is that they do last forever and ever, and so you also need to be able to say, okay, this company has come to me, for example, like a bank. The other banks are not blind or daft enough to have not started their own student account initiative, whatever it is. We've got to look at them and look and see what they are doing, what they are offering, and we make sure that we're not giving it cheaper or at a so because that we're doing our business disservice and the bottom line disservice, but we maybe make sure that we are offering something that adds more value and is more attractive, right? So who truly competes for your client's business? Imagine three women's shoe stores in one town. Each targets a different group, teens, discount, and upscale, except for some minor overlapping, but to each other, they are non-competitive. However, three athletic stores that carry the same brand, right? Then all three are in direct competition with one another. Right. Okay. And it's small things, I mean, it can be about how much inventory you do have, how much selection and variety and labels you do stock would make a person think, oh, I'd like to actually go there as opposed to this other particular athletic brand or this athletic store. Or differently would be pricing. That would make a very big difference. And also availability. Can I buy it online? Is there one in my city or town or whatever it is, and so on and so forth, right? If you write down each competitor and a list of their perceived strengths and selling points, like discount or competitive prices, excellent services, superior quality, variety of goods, convenient locations and hours, you're going to start being able to develop that USP for yourself, and then moving forward to how do we do what we do moving forward in terms of this now particular campaign that we're going to start for this client on air. Apply the same criteria, then evaluating the perceived position and strength of your client. So do an informal survey with friends and family. As I said before, go ahead and ask some questions, but also go ahead and ask some questions that to people that are actually at these stores, that are buying these particular products, and because you might get, again, a very biased point of view. You don't have 20,000 friends or 1,000 friends or even 100 friends. You don't, right? And you definitely don't have 100 family members. But I'm saying to you, so to keep it quite objective, I think that is right, yeah. Then we want to be able to make sure that we take either the input as with a pinch of salt, or we know that we can depend on some unique perspectives, right? A little bit more of a informal focus group that we're conducting to help us understand this particular product, right? And the most successful products or stores have established a very definite, easy explained, and easily recognized position in the marketplace. And it's the little differences that can make a person choose one store for a product over another. And we know that, you know that. It could be a preference, right? And the preference is so wide that I can't even start to tell you a finite list of what preferences are made up of, or they're accumulated of. So, but I'll give you a very short one, 2 and 3. The preferences could be customer service, definitely, right? So, for example, like with Edgar's, everybody knows their customer service is shocking, shocking. So the thing is, as opposed to having to deal with their, and it's not only customer service, the mistakes that they make, there's almost like illegal charging to your obviously your account that you don't even know of. And I'm saying to you, there's so much around why Edgar's is terrible. You know, it might look nice or good enough on the onset, but you know what? It really is shocking. So the thing is that instead of having to know that about Edgar's and then not going to go deal with them unless I'm going to go pay cash, right? Then I'm going to go to, I don't know, what's the other ones, man? Truworths or Truworths Man, which is kind of in the same league as Edgar's, right? Anyway, okay. So there we go. The Edgar's there. Getting it all together in step four, there are various styles of commercials. And don't always use the same style for your clients. So get creative and see what works best. Just because it worked for one campaign doesn't mean it will on another. So keep it fresh and keep it new. But do remember, lessons learned, which is documented or which are documented, are helpful so that you don't keep on starting from from the very beginning every single time, right? Whenever you are starting a new campaign or starting with a new client or similar client, lessons learned are very, very important. Sometimes the simplest approach works best. So when you are writing the copy and you are, let's say, doing the copy even for the caption work and the digital marketing strategies and stuff, sometimes just don't be so clever about it. Don't be so, when I say clever, creative about it. Creativity is about just making sure creativity is problem solving at the end of the day. It's not always about art and about craft and about, fashion. It's not about that. Excuse me. Creativity is about how you problem solve something. See the problem, come up with a simple a solution that is effective. One voice with an effective delivery, with a well-written narrative could be good enough, right? Um, like, do we want to use music in there in terms of the actual advert that does go out, or within the actual roll out? I'm saying when you actually go on air and do the activation, etc., right? Then do you want to use that? Will it add to the feel, or should we kind of avoid that, whatever it may be, right? And the slice of life, let the audience relate personally to commercial elements, real life conversations, lovers, spouses, parents, neighbors, etc. There's an option over there, or adding some humor if you feel that is going to add to it and not take away. You don't have to make it funny if it's effective already. But if there is some humor and you can somehow incorporate that within what it is, that doesn't discredit the station or the client, right? Then go ahead and then go and do that over there. All right. So testimonials are always great, but you know what? Here's my problem with it. They can and they are in this day and age, they're basically fake. So you can just get someone that says, "Oh, I bought this, or I've done this rating, or this and that," and it's orchestrated and it's constructed by that particular brand, that brand's friends, and this and that, whatever. So testimonials don't really work. If you can do literally like a journal testimonial of watching how this particular product does make an effective change, kind of like proof in pudding, that would make for a really good testimonial. But the best ones are word of mouth, because you're going to believe the person that's telling you that they're using the product. They see that you could be using it too, and so they'll tell you this is great. Right. Okay. So overcoming the writer's block in step five, every writer's nightmare and every deadline's biggest obstacles is one of these, is this writer's block, right? When you're stuck, you just don't know what to do. You don't know which angle to take. You don't know how to write this copy. You don't know what to offer more, how to answer certain questions for the client to solve certain problems of theirs, and you have a bit of a problem, right? But there are several steps to overcome writer's block, and that's from Jeffrey Hedquist that suggests the following. Okay, like you can use sound effects, and this was covered in I think a previous one as well, or it was covered somewhere, that you are kind of test yourself where you choose a sound effect, it inspires you to write a commercial, and you can, and not obviously a final commercial, but this is a creativity exercise where it even whatever comes out, and then do it again and again. You know, the 2 minute deadline will force you to come up with something using just that sound, what that sound effect might decide to spark as an idea. Silence is also golden, so don't overlook the power of silence and quiet sounds. Silence can grab your attention, right? And obviously serve right there as power, contrast to bombastic sound effect. It can also be used to highlight a solution, right? So think pineapple insurance adverts. A good 15 seconds of the advert is just shuffling or silence. Dramatic. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is with this one, like I say, purely theoretical. And in the next one, I'm going to just add more of a practical element. I'll see you in the absolute final class for the year. Cheers.